perspective on that, so stay with us. The IDF has made a very important announcement, and that is that it's allowed a 4-hour humanitarian passage from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. to Wadi Gaza for the people living in the Gaza Strip. So they have to move slightly northwards, and this particular humanitarian passage has been allowed from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. This is the announcement that's coming from the Israeli Defense Forces. We have Meenakshi joining us to just give us a perspective on what the IDF has actually said about this particular humanitarian passage that's going to last 4 hours. Yes, Meenakshi.
Yes, Siddharth. So this is a map which has been put out by the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, and here you can see the passage which has been provided by Israel, the humanitarian passage being provided for Palestinians. It's going to be a 4-hour humanitarian passage which will be provided. Here you can see this is the way, how they can move towards the southern side. Palestinians are trying to save their lives to ensure that, civilians don't bear the brunt of the war. This post has been put out in Arabic as well. An English translation is also available from
Right. Meenakshi, we're just having a problem with your audio there. I'll just read this out for the benefit of our viewers. Although Hamas is harming the ongoing humanitarian efforts in using residents of Gaza as human shields, the IDF will today allow a humanitarian passage from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on the Salah Al-Din Road to Wadi Gaza, south of the Gaza Strip. So that's the announcement coming from the IDF. Let me go across to Pradeep immediately. Pradeep, so this appears to be a humanitarian gesture on the part of Israel to allow residents of the Gaza Strip to move southwards towards Wadi Gaza so that they can be insulated from any airstrikes or any land incursions Israel might do in the concerned areas. Take us through a bit more about what the IDF has actually announced here.
See, Siddharth, this is in fact a big thing for the people there who are stuck up in Gaza, because for the last so many days, Americans had been insisting upon Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for the humanitarian pause. They wanted that people should be allowed to move towards the safer area. Already we have seen that the Gaza had been split into two parts, as has been said by IDF spokesperson, that is northern Gaza as well as southern Gaza. Because northern Gaza has been completely encircled. They want to wipe out Hamas terrorists who are hiding there in several tents there. And the second thing, they're trying to provide that humanitarian pause where from the people can move from the 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So that the people who are injured, they can also move out of those areas. But problem had been that in the past also, when the ultimatum was given and they wanted a kind of a humanitarian pause to be there, and that time we saw that how Hamas played the role of an obstructionist. They never allowed the people to move out because they wanted civilian casualty to be there so that they can reshape atmosphere. But Israel has always objected to one thing, that was the ceasefire. Even Americans are not in favor of the ceasefire because they feel that's only going to help Hamas to regroup and once again target Israel. That is not acceptable to Israel and not even acceptable to America.
As far as the residents of Gaza are concerned, that's an important announcement being made by the IDF. Stay with us, Pradeep, because as Israel's intense strikes continue against Hamas, the Israeli Defense Forces are also exposing the sick mindset of the terror outfit, which is Hamas. The Israeli Defense Forces have now released more evidence of how Hamas has been using civilian facilities as a defense mechanism to evade the counter-strike on the part of Israel, something that's been waging since the terror attacks on the 7th of October. IDF soldiers who are on the ground in Gaza Strip have discovered how Hamas has a systematically organized terror hideout. They're using civilian facilities for their terror activities. And take a look at some of these pictures on your screens as well. A swimming pool, a child's playground. Well, they've now been turned into a deadly site because these are being used as launch pads on the part of Hamas to launch missiles and rockets into Israel. Hamas has been using these sites for launching rockets towards Tel Aviv. This is further proof of Hamas's deliberate use of civilian infrastructure in Gaza and also civilians, including children, as human shields to conduct some of its military operations. Let's also take a look at the visuals on your screen right now. This is a children's swimming pool, which appears to be quite close to an amusement park as well. Hamas has been using this as a rocket launch site. IDF troops have also discovered 4 launching barrels for rockets. This is just 5 meters away from a children's swimming pool and just 20 to 30 meters away from residential buildings. So this is obviously a densely populated area. Let's also talk about Hamas's rocket launch site number 2. This is an area near a children's playground and also an amusement park. Rocket launch pits have been discovered within the periphery of this particular area as well. The IDF claims that underground infrastructure of Hamas has been present underneath this particular playground that you see on your screens as well. The third such evidence that the IDF has released is in addition to their claim about how Hamas has been using hospitals for some of its nefarious activities. Now, this is a Sheikh Hamad hospital inside the Gaza Strip. IDF troops have discovered an entrance of a secret tunnel underneath this particular hospital. This secret entrance connects it to Hamas's terror tunnels, popularly known as the Gaza Metro, making it easier for some of these terrorists to carry out their deadly operations as well. So this is just some of the visual evidence that the IDF has now released to show how civilian infrastructure has been used by Hamas to carry out